Hi guys, I waited until my loyal audience of 7 was here to listen to what I'm talking about. I don't even know what I'm talking about. I figured I'd just do a live because, it's appropriate. I'm doing my bubblegum videos where there's like no real production or editing or anything. And I always feel guilty about that. But it's like I'm so busy and there's so many different things going on. It's really hard to like manage everything, and things have just your bills of this place are just huge. So I don't have money. Hi Heather. And so I figured I'd just do a live because I haven't done a lot of stuff on YouTube. So the last time I did a live on YouTube, I was like, is this appropriate for kids? Jay Muller, I love you. And is it appropriate for kids? And I'm like, sure it is. Well, when I say it's appropriate for kids on that, I'm saying nobody can comment, I guess, by YouTube standards. So I wanted to explain that. But I have some different ideas because you guys are wonderful. I really want to, I guess my target is, I'm one of these people that are very, very driven. I would like to have 1 million subs, and it's not for any other reason other than that just 1 million is just like this thing, it's just to accomplish that. But I am growing so slowly, and it's only my core people like you that are listening to my stuff, because let's face it, it's just, I think, not to be an egotistical person, but I see a lot of people that I don't think have the breadth or the understanding of reptiles or animals that maybe I feel that I do. And they can have massive followings, and it really comes down to, how polished their production is, or how their presentation, or their luck. Because I'm just tend not to be a very lucky guy. Look, I can't even read all this stuff, you guys. No, it's that's an Epiphone. This is a copy. I didn't even bring. I have Les Pauls. Les Pauls. I like to play Les Pauls. I don't particularly. It's not my favorite. I really tend to like explorer type stuff and Jackson-y, Randy Rhoads style V's and whatnot. But I'm kind of frustrated, just trying to grow the channel. And should I, try to make everything polished? When I do try to make everything polished, it's going to take longer for me to give you guys production. And I'd rather give you guys production. I was actually just filming breeding red belly piranha. So I'm into fish. But I don't see really anybody breeding red belly piranha and actually raising the young. So what's the point of today's video? I don't like being a human. Crazy Train Soul. Yes, I can play it. I just I can't go off on things because there's a lot of people that don't even appreciate me even playing guitar right now. But anyways, I don't want to annoy you guys. So I don't like being human, and I have mental problems. So so what I mean by this. So last night, I tend not to sleep well, and I wake up and I start dwelling on things, and then I looked at the news, and I'm afraid to look at things talking about the environment and Marty Freeman. Guys distract me on guitar. So I love to, looking at things about the environment because I love animals, and I'm an absolute conservation environmentalist, animal lover, not a people lover. And I'm afraid when I start reading about things about the environment, because pretty much everything to do with the environment is bad news. So, a lot of you guys and girls and such, I'm an animal keeper, and animal keeping is, I'm basically keeping animals in captivity. And I do that for my own selfish pleasures, which I love them so much. But let's be realistic. We're breeding a lot of these animals in captivity, and the places where a lot of these animals come from, they don't view the animals like we do. they're just a commodity, they're a resource, so they're gonna render them, so they're gonna catch them, kill them, skin them, whatnot. A lot of times they skin them, not kill them. They skim them while they're alive, and they feel, and that means feel that you get a better product, a better skin, and really, really horrific. My heart's broken. I'm just high voluntarist. My heart's just broken just being a human, because I'm part of the problem. I know I'm part of the problem. So I was reading about monarch butterflies. And if anybody knows me, I love monarch butterflies. I'm an avid monarch butterfly freak. I plant milkweed. I try to protect milkweed. I encourage other people. I teach people how to find monarchs. Of course, when I do that kind of stuff, no one wants to watch my videos. I have all these videos on monarch butterflies, and Donny just was like, dude, you're just gonna bore everybody to tears. And so I just make these little videos for myself. But I was reading about the monarch overwintering numbers. So if anybody knows, monarchs are part of North America history, even up in Canada and whatnot. And obviously, Mexico and wherever. But these butterflies, they overwinter in California, Southern California, and Mexico. So this is literally what they do. They go to these cooler areas for the winter season. So when North America kind of quiets down and we have, temperate weather, they migrate down to these two areas, and then they overwinter. And they will remain in these forests, and they'll just clump in, hundreds of thousands, historically millions. And they will overwinter there, and they'll be there for maybe 4 or 5 months. And they have to have just the right humidity, not too warm, because if it's too warm, they're going to burn through all their stored energy. And then once it starts warming up and North America starts going into spring, and we start, having plants, which they need one plant for their host plant, which is milkweed, but then they need tons and tons and tons of nectar food plants. And what they do is they migrate up from Southern California and Mexico, and they come up into North America, up even into Canada, and it takes many generations for them to get here. And along the way, they're needing nectar, so they're feeding on all sorts of different flowering plants, and then they will then start to lay their eggs on their host plants, which is different types of milkweed. And they need the host plant all along the way for their migration to spread through the historical history of what they used to do. And what's happening is, through industrialized farming and just human encroachment, let's face it, we are overpopulating the hell out of everything, and we're taking tracts of area that used to be milkweed or capable of holding milkweed, and now we're industrialized farming, going in there, we're using mass herbicides, which are killing the milkweed. We're using all sorts of pesticides. The monarch butterflies are picking it up. There's a horrible, really nasty protozoa, OE, and that the butterflies and the caterpillars can catch this, and it's very contagious. And what it does is it prevents the butterfly from metamorphosizing into a healthy, sturdy butterfly. And what it does is, if the caterpillar lives long enough and goes into chrysalis form, they then have all sorts of complications as they morph into a butterfly. And a lot of times you get these butterflies with crinkled wings, or you get little chrysalis, and then they die. And it's very, very contagious. And it's, you can test for it just by using tape, and you put it on, like, inside the enclosure around the caterpillars and whatnot, and you can lift it up and you can look underneath the microscope and you can see the cysts of this nasty pathogen. So that's killing them, it's weakening them. I probably do something that's probably maybe not always the greatest thing. I tend to raise monarch caterpillars, and then I raise them so they form a chrysalis, and then I release them. So years ago, I was successful. I did about 95, which was my record. So I was able to release about 95 butterflies. And what's amazing about that, those butterflies, when they're released and they continued their voyage, somehow they forwarded that information that Coming to Nerd was a place that they should come here, and then they should lay their eggs on my milkweed, which I'm trying to protect from my plethora of rabbits and woodchucks. But I host, milkweed, and I plant milkweed. I'm planting milkweed even right now. I've cleared an area, another like field area where I want to, have that for all sorts of wildflowers and milkweed to have these caterpillars and butterflies. But my problem is here, historically, monarch butterflies were in the millions. So if you ever go look at like these old videos, it's just like, it's an Eden. It's like a Disney movie. And I was reading about this past winter's population survey, and I'm not going to give specifics because I think I was emotionally traumatized, but it was beneath 300,000 that were recorded, which is nothing. It's like, it's the end. It sounds like it's the end, and it really is discouraging. So they're trying to protect the overwintering for these butterflies in Mexico, let's say, and they're really trying to do some stuff there, and I really, really credit all the people. World Wildlife Fund is doing habitat restoration of some of these critical forests that have been logged, where the butterflies can stay. But what's the sense in protecting something where it overwinters when they're coming through the states, and all we're doing is we're not giving them a path. We don't have milkweed. We're destroying everything. We're using horrible pesticides. We're losing habitat at an alarming rate to further accommodate human numbers. And this is why I'm talking about I hate being a human, because everything to do with the life of a human, myself included, terribly, is so negative on the planet, on the environment. It really hurts me. And it's like I'm traumatized every single day. And I was just thinking about this, and I think there's a lot of us that we suffer all sorts of challenges. I think as life gets more complicated, there's a lot more suffering. And I just want to let you know that I struggle with this, and so you might see me playing with some remarkable animal, and that guy's got the life. I can lie to you. I got the life. Yes, sure, certain things I am blessed, but it does not help me with my core values. My core values are animals. I love animals. I'm here to try to counter some of the negatives of my existence by teaching and learning, because these animals are learning, and I find being here is very, very difficult at times, and I know many people that are watching me, I think you guys can feel pain in my voice as you see the empathy I have for animals, and that's going to be the core. That's me to the very end. I really, I'm going to drone about animals. I'm just terrible, but it's what I'm about and why you guys are actually watching me. So if it's not just like monarch butterflies, I literally think the monarch butterflies are going to go away. And what the hell is this guy talking about monarch butterflies? Well, guess what? I'm that, they're so important to me. These animals are so important to me because they have the right to be here. And I dropped my pen. And a lot of us live like, humans. We're the most important thing. I don't feel like that. I just don't. And I'm really sad because things are going away. So I'm trying to shrink down a lot of nerd, because I do need to leave my building. I need to see these things before things are all gone. And I'm stapled here. I'm trapped with all my wonderful animals that I love, and it's really hard, downsizing some of this. And I'd like to be able to set up a team of people here where I can leave my building and go witness these things. And some of it actually bothers me because you get to go, I went to South Africa last year, and I got to go witness the animals that were all dying. They're all the numbers are going down, the rhinos and the lions and so many of these different animals, the wild dogs, and they're going away. And to actually consider that and actually view these animals, it's really painful. So I wanted to tell you guys that, and I have had these conversations with my very dear loved friend Brian Barczyk, and Brian and I are so connected in this. You know, it's like a Steve Irwin thing. You know, Steve Irwin, you know, just loved these animals to death, and we lost two great, passionate, empathetic people that put animals such a level up here, and they're teaching people and getting other people to think. But I want to ask upon you guys is, if you love animals and you're good at what you do, let's say you're keeping, you know, panther chameleons, whatever it is, and if you do these things, I really hope I can encourage you. If I'm sure many of you are doing it, do some conservation. My hobby is conservation, okay? And it's like, I'm, you know, turtles, rattlesnakes, all sorts of stuff. It's very, very important to me. So I want to give myself to these things, because that level of expertise, at least in my little puny little mind, I think that some of my expertise could actually be valuable to these animals, and to this date, it really has proven to be valuable with the methods and different things, because, you know, you have states and you have federal government that are in charge of, let's say, you know, by legislation and laws and whatever, they're put in charge of protecting these animals. Well, my one question is, how did we get to this place where all these animals are so challenged if the people in the organizations and the state agencies and whatnot have been really good at what they're doing? They've been aware, and I understand politics. I'm incredibly naive. I'm a libertarian, and I just can't stand politicians. But we're allowing all this stuff to come to a place where everything is being challenged. And then you sit here and go, oh, what's it going to be like in 20 years? We're screwed. These animals are screwed. We have done such a poor job. But I think all, you know, the people that are watching this, and if you guys can do things to help the environment, to help the animals, to create little Edens and protect them, be outspoken, change people's views, that is like, I guess that's one reason why I'm still here. Because I drive down the road and I watch a Blandings turtle get run over, I'm mentally traumatized. I even, you know, just watching animals, rodenticide is breaking my heart, because the amount of secondary poisoning to all of these amazing animals, and they didn't do anything. They didn't do anything wrong. They're just trying to, you know, survive and exist. And humanity is just this giant presence on the landscape, and it's so sad. And I'm sure a lot of you guys are going, why am I even watching this video? Well, I think it's important for us to at least connect, and just like, you know, just talk about this stuff. It's so easy. Like, I watch other YouTube content, and it's like everybody's like so positive and so this and maybe polished and all that. And it's like, well, if I did that, I'd be faking it. It's like, that's not what's going on in my brain. That's not how I'm thinking. And I just want, so I guess, you know what it is? I'm the guy that you guys are like, everything sucks and misery and sadness. And I guess maybe I'm one of your little spokespeople for you know, the sadness and whatever. But we're all connected through animals. We're connected through what we see and how important they are and how they help us continue and survive in a very hard, challenging time. But I remember, I am definitely feeling all this. I'm that guy that is ridiculously empathetic. And I'm the guy that will get mad at somebody that I watch purposely killing ants. I'm that guy. And because you guys are interested in me, I tend to be actually a shy person. So I'm a loner. I'm a person that's introverted, and I tend to want to be alone. And I've been taken out of my shell. And as you guys are watching and communicating with me, you're giving a sense of purpose. Because I see a lot of you leave these interesting, very heartfelt comments, and I am very appreciative that I actually have some value to you guys, and that's appreciated, because I don't think I'm doing a lot of things right. I really don't. But I will say one thing, this reality show thing that we continue to talk about, that I've been talking to. So the reality show, the contact that I really have is a guy named David Roma and his partner Isaac. So David Roma is the guy that started Miami Inc. and LA Inc. And I've known David for years. And David had filmed me and had witnessed me and how I deal with animals and whatever. And it's always been sticking in David's head. It's like, I actually think, Kevin, we have a show with you. And I think it's something we need to do at some point. Well, you know how there's a lot of formulas to reality shows. And there's a lot of... it's very challenging to create this kind of programming, because everything has to be, getting stung, getting bit, getting some kind of crazy stuff. Hi, Tim, Intrepid. And I don't think I'm going to okay, guys, I'm going to get stung by, a bullet ant or whatever, at least purposely. But I really I see differently, and I have this animal insight. And, people like Forrest Gallant. Forrest, I was just watching his thing on Tasmanian Tiger yesterday, and I really wish they still exist. But he's excellent. He's very polished, wonderful charisma, and I really love watching somebody talking about animals and thylacine and all, the animals that we think are extinct. I would love for thylacine to still exist. And he gave me some new hope yesterday. But generally, the programming for just, people loving animals, I think that's a little harder for you to really maintain an audience. So if we do a reality show, it's based around nerd, but it's also tons of animal education, tons of opening people's minds about animals. And that is my purpose. That's why I want to do it. Not because I desire fame or whatever the hell it is. I desire people to see a little bit through my eyes. Yeah, get me some likes, guys. And get me some subscribers. You guys, literally, you guys are my core audience, and help me, because I don't know what I'm doing. I really don't. I'm just trying to just talk to you guys. I do want to do some lives with Chris and Casey over at Garden State Tortoise, which I dearly love. There's so many other keepers that I really love, but there's certain people like Savannah down at Gatorland, Dingo. These are people that we have such a connection, and I think it's important, and I would be interested. Would you guys like to hear us talking about what we talk about? So when Brian Barczyk would talk, we're talking about a lot of sadness and a lot of hurt and stuff like that. Even though Brian was projecting this positive thing, he would talk to me about his pain, and I would talk to him about my pain. And that, for years, we did that, and we bonded on that. And I think in a world of so much positivity, I'm the guy that's let's talk about negativity or things that hurt us, because I guess that's more real. And so people that it's amazing. Like, I'm a big breeder, and people that hate on big breeders or whatever, but I don't think I'm quite like what you think I am. I'm a lot of things, but I don't think I'm quite like that because these animals are such a big thing to me every single day of my life. But listening to people talk about me as if they knew what my ideals were. Let's talk about the spider ball gene. Spider ball gene. You're a monster. You breed spider balls and they have all these problems. Well, actually, you're looking at some spider balls and you might be looking at the worst examples of a neurological disorder that spider balls have in their genetics. But I find spider balls to be fantastic animals where they do really, really well. I don't see a lot of them doing any of this. I have spider balls that are like very old and they're still wonderful, but they say, you're a monster, you're into this. And it's like, you know, you're just a jerk. You just don't even understand. You have no, you're just like, you're being an idealist. And I really, I do get a little sensitive to that. And then I have people, I do my medical videos, and the amount of nonsense that I actually have to bear, it does not outweigh the good things. Because I really, you know, I mean, when people are speaking, fine. If I'm doing bad things and they're speaking on facts and they have whatever, sure, I'm always learning, and I'm not saying, you know, everything I always do, I look back and say, oh, that was the greatest thing. I'm learning, but you know, I'm fallible. But the way you talk and the way you say things, and then you immediately, you look at something and within seconds, you've already made an opinion, and then the next thing you're doing, blah, 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 you're typing it away, and you're just being, you know, you're putting out your opinion. And sometimes, you know, I'd read that. We don't delete comments. So I just let, even you hate my guts, I just leave those comments up there. And I'm sorry you hate me, because I think there's probably way worse people to hate, but that's fine. It's, you know, I'm not so great. But sadly, your mindset is so hard to change, because your opinion of me is, at least I disagree with. I'm like, what you're saying, you know, big breeder, this or that. You only breed spider balls because of money. There's no money in that. I'm selling snakes that I've had 10, 15 years, and some of them are like $125. There's nothing about money there. It's a giant money loss. I do it because I just love the animals. I love seeing them. And, you know, I'll continue being the person I am. I'm hopefully some of you guys can tolerate my humor. I tend to be ridiculously sarcastic. I love to do voices. I try to behave myself, because sometimes people don't understand my weirdness. I don't think I understand my weirdness either. But you know, I just want to let you know, I appreciate you guys, and I want to just tell you I'm mentally ill. No, I don't know. I mean, partially, yeah. I think living in this world, and if you love animals and you love the environment and you love conservation, and you're looking at industrialized life here in North America, you almost have to be a little mentally ill, because the amount of pain that we're going through every single day, just watching, you know, our government do horrific things, and then it's always at the loss of animals. It's always politicians lying or misleading us or whatever. And I'm literally, you know, I feel endlessly victimized by my absolute love for animals and wildlife. And I need to temper myself and just, Kevin, you're not going to be able to really get beyond this. You're not going to be able to do anything. All I try to do is I try to slow the bleeding. And I just encourage you guys, if there's anything you guys can do to help animals and wildlife and expose other people to it and talk about it and get things going, because these things are important. Your friggin' stupid cell phone, make-believe, all of this garbage, it's not real when you're talking about the annihilation of a species. You know, how many of you guys have driven down the road and watched your favorite fields or your favorite woods or whatever, and it's all gone, and then it gets just developed, and it's not developed into something that we're gonna like think is great. We're hitting critical mass. I hate humans. I'm a misanthrope. I don't like I just don't like being a human because we're not good. I'm sorry, we're not. We're just, we can be good individuals, but as far as a life form, we're just, we're the destruction of this planet, and there's so many of us. I know I'm going on. Think about one thing. All the humans, so our populations and the biomass of the planet is now changing to humans and the animals we eat. Okay, so we're just completely displacing the whole biology of the planet, the biomass. And consider in the 1950s, the amount of sea life that was present in the ocean. And now we're dealing with, we have about 5% of the ocean life density, 4 to 5% that existed in the 50s. So 95% of it is gone. So you're looking at this ocean where 95% of the life in the 1950s has since vacated due to us. That is extraordinarily sad. And we're going to continue to just keep taking. And we don't want to live within our means. And we want to, take more than a system can support. And that hurts me. And I wonder if it hurts you guys. Well, anyways, I just want to thank you guys for actually even taking interest in me and listening to me. I don't think I knew what I was even going to talk about. And I just sat down, but I was like, I'm upset. I'm upset about monarch butterflies. And I know it might sound kind of weird, but it doesn't sound weird to me because it really bothers me. I don't think I want to be here if there's no monarch butterflies. I don't want to be here if there's no manatees. I don't want to be here, if there's no tigers. I don't want to be here. It's sad. And I think some of this, I'm doing this is because of Brian Barczyk, because we had such a connection, and these are things that I would have to continue with the idea of Brian, and Brian would always encourage me, and I would just kind of hide. But I'm trying to, Brian's spirit lives, and I think it's important to continue in respect of just trying to do things that Brian would appreciate. And I'm really happy there's so many people here that Brian had such a positive effect on, and that he was clearly very, very important to. And I just want to I want to carry it a little thimble-sized bit of hope that I can do something positive. And I do appreciate the three of you that are enjoying my bubblegum videos. What am I ultimately going to do? I mean, this could be just like a kind of like, obviously bubblegum videos are, I can do those on the fly. Will I be doing any more, production shit? Yes, I think so. I swore. But I want to do, obviously some more polished videos. But right now, this is kind of like just giving you guys something. And I really do appreciate all of you that are following me and subscribing, because you guys cause me to continue to do these things. And because you guys are showing an interest, I'm sitting here doing these weird things like that. And I just want to thank you guys. All right, everybody. I hope you're having a good Sunday, or you're going to have a good Sunday. But if you guys can do conservation and you guys can help things locally, whatever, I think that sometimes giving, we lose our own pain and suffering by giving ourselves to something bigger. And I guess that's my commercial. Be bigger than yourself. Try to help things. And butterflies, bubblegum and butterflies. A lot of monarch videos. I just have to put them all together. But we can do things. And it's not just monarch butterflies. It's so much stuff. I'm dying for spring. Spring is right around the corner here. I can feel it in the sun, and I don't know. But I won't keep going on. You guys are wonderful, and I hope you guys have a great day and help me get to 1 million subs. I don't know. And remember, with my platform, I want to talk about animals. I want to help animals. I want to help you guys. I want to talk about animals and loving animals and all that. Keene, New Hampshire. Hello, Keene, New Hampshire. So God, you know, Cecropia moths and lunar moths, those are where I'm at. Those are even vanishing. And I'd love to artificially propagate a bunch of Cecropia moths and lunar moths and release them. And I'm sure there are people that know more about this than I. I've raised, you know, Atlas moths and lunas and stuff like that. But I just want to do everything. I just want to do everything for animals. That's all I care about. And I think you value things once it's gone. Well, I'm valuing things as they're going away. All right, guys, you're wonderful. Thank you.